Voting, baby. Yeah, it's time to vote, man. Rock the vote. No, it's not. Let me tell you what you need to be doing because too many of you are misinformed. In fact, I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's up to you to make your own political decisions. But I do want to have a discussion about voting for people who are young, maybe black especially, business owners. And when you're voting for the president of the United States in these elections, on why it's about more than just going to place a vote, more than just pushing a button. Because too many people have this narrative, they just say you should vote, 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 and you gotta vote. This is the biggest election. Your vote counts. I'm gonna play the opposite side in this video, and I want to talk to you about at least 5 reasons why just voting in the traditional way people tell you is stupid. It's very, very dumb. Not only is it's not even, it doesn't make you dumb, but it just means that you're misinformed, and it's time to have a better understanding of business and a better understanding of politics. And I just want to give you some stuff to think about that you can use to take action, so that way when you're making decisions in your life, you can make the best decisions for you, your community. Is that okay? It don't matter. If it's not okay, you turn it off the video. That's all you got to do. All right. So we're going to talk about it. So first and foremost, I have a question for you. That is, in 2016, when the president was elected, President Trump was elected. Did you know that the person he was running against, Hillary Clinton, she had more votes? Did you know she had more votes? But Trump still won. Did you know that some of y'all may not remember this, but if we go back to like around 2002, I think it was to 2002. You had the 2008 election with Obama. Then you had the one with Bush and Al Gore. I think that was 2004. 2004, you had George Bush was going against Al Gore. Did you know that Al Gore had more votes? He was a Democrat. More people voted for him, but Bush still won. Why did Bush win against Al Gore, even though Al Gore had more votes? Why did Trump still win, even though Hillary Clinton had more votes? More people got up like you and went out and voted for who they believed in, and the votes counted, but they didn't count because at the end of the day, the other person still took it. Why? Because these are some gangsters. All right. America is not only political, but it's also a business, and you dealing with gangsters. They have their agendas, and they're going to get what they want. And they do it. They use something called the Electoral College, which is basically they have these people who we don't even know who they are, who are these Electoral College representatives. It's like one or two in each state. And these people represent another vote that can supersede all of your votes. And so this is why you see what they'll do is in some cases, they'll even count the prisoners, like depending on in that state, if there's more people that are in jail in that state, it gets more weight for that state to be able to have an electoral college vote. But we don't even understand as people. It's not even publicly known how they go about deciding who these electoral college people are, and exactly how do they determine what vote is more powerful than others. So it's private. This is private information is my point. So therefore, you can go out and vote all you want for a president, but even if that president, quote unquote, has more votes, that doesn't mean they're going to win. So does it matter if you go out and just vote alone? That's the question to think about. If you vote for somebody, they win, and they still don't win, the other person takes it like a gangster, that means your vote really didn't count. So it's up to us to look at politics on a deeper level, and we can politic and be involved in a political game in other ways outside of just voting. Okay. I mean, if you look at other groups like Asian groups, quote unquote Asian Americans, these Asians that come to America, I mean, many of them have very low voting participation. However, their community is very intact. They own hella real estate, have a lot of business influence, and they have a lot of power over how they're represented in the media. But they do very little voting. you don't see as many of them at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to financially and when it comes to racism. I'm not saying they're at the top, but my point is they don't do a lot of voting and they're getting results. In fact, the only community that's pushed the idea to vote, vote, vote is really that's pushed mainly on black people. And the reason why I don't like the idea of just go out and vote, vote, vote alone is because there's a narrative that's painted that makes us believe that in politics, all you need to do is don't do shit all year, but just on this one day show up and give your opinion, and then that's gonna make a difference. If you believe that's all you have to do, then that's all you're gonna do. But if you realize it takes more than that, then you'll do more. So that's why I'm having this conversation. I'm not saying that I think you shouldn't vote, but I'm saying you got to understand politics and understand business. First, you got to understand if you get a politician that you want to work for you, you have to pay that politician. See, politics is about money and power. That's what politics is. You got to pay to play. So if you just, it don't matter if you just vote for a particular person, if you don't have money contributing to their campaign, money contributing to them, then they don't really care about you. They may act like they care about you. They're going to talk because they want to, they got to play a role. They got to play like this acting role to make you think that they really care because they want to get in the office, and not only just get in the office, but they want to have a certain participation amongst the citizens. They got to get you to buy into the system. So even though in their mind, they might even know, especially as a president on the federal level, they may know presidential wise, that it doesn't matter as much, but they still have to play that role. Now, some of you will say, what about when it comes to the other people in the office that president is bringing? Like, are they bringing in certain judges, Supreme Court judges? Are they bringing in who's else on their staff that they're bringing in, and how is that going to impact me? Now, if you're thinking like that, then I think that's good that you're thinking along those lines, because that is something to consider. You do want to take that into consideration. Is what's the staff that's coming in specifically? How are they looking to change and modify these laws? But the most important thing, you got to know money. Like, you got to look at whatever party's coming in that's going to help you and your community make some money. All right. And have some protection. All right, that's what's really important. And to do that, you all have to get money together and put money in and pay for that politician. Now, I am a conspiracy guy, and sometimes I think that the reason why black people are pushed along this narrative to say that you should vote, 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 vote is because they want to count those votes, meaning those people who count them. And they want to know that black folks still believe in the system. If they know that we believe in the system because we're trying to participate in it, which the system is very broken, it don't work for us. I mean, it's fixed, meaning it does what it's supposed to do, which is keep us at the bottom. So it works in that way. But in terms of working for us, it doesn't. So as long as they see that we're voting, they're saying, hey, we're willing to continue to participate, sit on the sideline and choose somebody else to be our leader so that business can keep going on as usual. I mean, that's what happens. We've seen when even Obama got in office, we voted for Obama. And even when you put him in office, there wasn't much change that helped black people. I mean, not tangible, not for policies, not for black communities, not for black wealth, not for black entrepreneurship and black real estate agents, and black education. I mean, look at the system today. So a bigger point is, if you want to vote, the best way to vote starts with your dollars. Vote with your money. Vote with every single day when you spend your money at a store. Vote by realizing that every dollar you put into a store on who you shop with, that money is going to circulate, and that money will then help hire somebody and employ somebody within your community. Every dollar that you communicate is going to go towards, when you pay your rent, that's going towards whoever your landlord is, keeping them in power, keeping them so they can have control and some influence in your community. So if you really want to get change, you want to start changing locally by locally understanding where you spending your dollars every day. Are you renting? And if you're renting, who are you renting from? And I'm talking about business owners too. If you're a hairstylist, a barber, or you own a small business, don't just rent a space, own a space. Buy the building, buy the land that you're living in. So that way you can keep making money and pass it down for generations. And now when you own that, you'll have more power and more influence. And that's something that you don't get just by going out to the federal presidency and voting. Okay. And I want to be very clear. I should have said this at the beginning. I definitely know and believe that voting at a federal level is not the same as voting at more of a local level. So when it comes to voting for your aldermen, for your mayors, and even, a more local people, that's different. That's different. So I think your vote does count much more then, because now you're dealing with people that directly impact you every single day. So you're going to interact with your alderman. Because you might be living in a place, you might be living in a community, and you feel like your community is poor and the crime is low. Well, one of the reasons why the community is poor is maybe it might go back to the alderman, because the alderman may have an agenda to say we don't want businesses over here. And if your alderman doesn't want businesses, that means there's no money that's there. That means now the taxes have to increase. Who's going to pay the taxes? The homeowners have to pay it. And if the homeowners pay it and they can't afford it, now we got an area where people just are in more poverty, unfortunately, because there's no growth. There's no economic growth. Also, you want to pay attention to like the churches in your neighborhood. This is real politics. Politics is like, understand that if you don't want to have too many churches in your neighborhood, because the more churches in your neighborhood, the more taxes that you have to pay, because churches don't pay taxes. The church doesn't pay the tax. So if there's 5 churches on each corner, on each in your neighborhood, every corner is a church, and don't none of them pay taxes, those taxes are going to have to be put on the homeowners. So that means your family, y'all paying more income tax. This is why the poor people pay more taxes. This is why the homeowners have these high taxes. Sometimes because they have too many churches. So if you want your taxes to be lowered, well, guess what? Get more businesses. Say, I want less churches in my neighborhood and we want more businesses, because a business is going to pay tax. And if the business is paying the tax, guess what? Now the homeowners may not have to pay as much taxes. So it's very important that you know these little things in your community. So you vote locally by making sure you have aldermen and you have other local officials that are dealing with your city, your state, or your township, that are impacting the price of the taxes, that are impacting the businesses that can come in, that are impacting the churches, because this stuff is what's going to really impact you every day and is going to help you do what you got to do so that you can vote with your dollars. And the way that it does impact the presidency, the federal government, is different. With Republican versus Democrat, usually Republicans are typically of the idea of business first. So usually they're trying to favor business and independent people. So sometimes if you're really trying to build your community and become financially independent and do what y'all want to really grow, sometimes that Republican Party may be better, because in the past, more money flows when Republicans are in office. However, when Democrats are in office, Democrats are usually operating on more of a state level. They're trying to help everybody. And so the government is creating more initiatives and programs for everybody. Now, it sounds good to say, yeah, the government is going to help you. The problem is the people, if the government is doing all of these handouts and helping you, they're also controlling your destiny and your future. They can control if you get money or if you don't. Now they have more regulations. So you don't want to, if you want to be of an independent mindset and have real long-term growth and value in your neighborhood, you may not want to depend on the government. You may want a Republican in office to help support the independent business owners, so that way you guys can take financial control and have an economic base. If you don't have an economic base and financial control, then you don't have nothing. So I just want y'all to think about some of these things Instead of just thinking all I got to do is just go out and vote for a president and then my vote's going to be counted. No, you have to really understand politics on a deeper level. And it goes way even deeper than what I'm talking, but I just wanted to cover some surface information just to give you something to think about, because you're a young hustler that's truer than true, and nobody else is gonna be successful quite like you. So do what you do, baby. I'm Jackson, your platform partner, your hustling homie, all about making things happen, addicted to helping you take action. Subscribe to the page, like the videos. Peace.